Brother Tobias first became aware of the icicle of pain searing through his skull. Then the sound of dripping water landing in a shallow puddle somewhere to his left. A few more moments passed before the muted whispers of his companions encroached on his dulled mind. Finally, the ethereal world around him solidified and he dared to open his eyes. Sir Darst and Ralph sat at the far side of the dungeon, tending to their wounds. Brother Tobias staggered to his feet and made his way across the room to his companions, laying his hands upon them one at a time and feeling his healing powers course through him. Taking in his surroundings, he could see two paved tunnels leading from his prison. To his right, only darkness, but to the left, a fluttering light jostled towards him. Within moments, a striking warrior woman came charging into the chamber, with two companions huffing and puffing behind her. The flaming torch in her hand and a blade in the other, she swept it through the air to clear the blood of the orcs from it. "Come, Brother Tobias," was all she said. Without a further word of explanation, she began running down the darkened passage to the right. The distinct footfalls and chattering of orcs filled the left passage as Brother Tobias and his companions hastily followed this mysterious woman. So this is how we've been introduced to Boda. Now, we don't know what happened to Bobby after the previous mission because we all got knocked out, but we found ourselves in the dungeon and we followed Boda through this mysterious woman, through the door and into this chamber. Now, this chamber has got a raised area over here, so this is 6 inches up from the ground. So if you think it's quite a high climb, and we do have to do a climb to get up there. There are 3 clue markers and there are 6 skeletons on board. There is a little surprise which is going to be happening every turn, but I won't tell you about that until it starts to happen, and you can have a little bit of a surprise yourselves. So the only way out of this mission is through this door up here, which is on this raised platform. So for this mission, we have all healed up. We've spent some time in that dungeon, and yeah, we're feeling okay. So all of our healths have raised back up to our starting health. So I'm going to be playing this as a 2 ranger game. So Boda here and Brother Tobias are the 2 heroes, or the 2 rangers for this game. So a 1-player game shouldn't really have 2 rangers, but I don't see any difference to having 2 rangers and less companions. It doesn't really make an awful lot of difference, so yeah, we're going to play it that way. So on to the first turn. So we're on to turn 1. Not that it really matters with this game, apart from the end of turn events. So we're going to start with Brother Tobias. Now, Brother Tobias is going to group activate with Ralph. So I'm going to do my movements first. So Brother Tobias moves up to here. And Ralph will do the same, moving 6 inches. And then for his second action, Brother Tobias is going to cast Enchanted Steel, and he'll cast that on Sir Darst, back here. Then Ralph is going to have a go at shooting at the skeleton by here. So it's in the open, but he has moved, so the skeleton gets a +1 to his fight. So they're both +2. So I shook a 15, he shook a 2, so I've beaten him. So I'm adding my 2 for his skill, that's 17. 17, take away 10, the armour, that's 7 damage. That is easy enough to kill this skeleton. So then Boda is going to group activate, and she is also going to make her move. Now she's got a movement of 7 because she's quite quick. So she's going to run up here. Now Boda doesn't have any ranged weapon apart from one throwing knife, so she's not going to be able to do much else. but move. So she's going to use her second action to move. She did group activate, so I should actually do one of their moves first. Okay, we're going to get Crix to move first. So he moves his 6 inches. And then Boda will do her second action, which will be another movement. And she's making a beeline towards the first of the skeletons. Now Crix is going to shoot at this skeleton here. So I also forgot, actually, her companion, she also has a monkey. So there is her monkey. So yeah, Crix is going to have a shot at that skeleton. Now he has a shoot of 2. And skeletons, as we know, has a fight of 1. So I shook 19 for us and a 5 for them. So Crix hits. So 19 plus 2, that's 21. That's going to be easy enough to kill this one. So then it's monster phase. So monsters are going to go clickety-clicked towards us. So they can't reach us with their first action. So they're going to use both their actions to try and get to us. Companion phase. So we're going to have Sir Darst move. So Sir Darst has got a movement of 6. Well, he hasn't got a ranged weapon, so he may as well use all of his actions to move 9. So he's going to get up to here with his magic sword. And then we're going to have a Largo run up with his 9. So he's going to actually run up 6 because he has got a bow. So he's going to position himself next to Ralph, and he is going to fire at this one here. So again, they get a +1 because he's moved, so they're equal. I shook a 12, but the skeleton shakes an 18, so he manages to sidestep it, or the arrow gets caught in the bones and doesn't actually penetrate. So Shriek the monkey, he can move 6 also. Now obviously he doesn't have a ranged weapon, so he is just running along trying to keep up with his master by there. So that is end of turn 1, and we draw a card. And it's a free. Place 1 giant rat in the exact centre of the remaining floor. If there is no floor remaining, ignore this card. And then the surprise happens. Alright, so we're going to get the giant rat. Place him in the middle of the floor, which, doing it by eye would be about there. But 4 inches of the floor just breaks away and falls into this vast abyss below. So I'll do that and then I'll get back to you. So that is kind of why we're going to have to keep moving with this mission, is to make sure that we don't actually fall into this huge abyss which is breaking out behind us. A bit sort of Indiana Jones-ish. So yeah, I'm going to group activate with Brother Tobias. Now he is within 3 inches of Sir Darst, so he will group activate with Sir Darst, and movements first, so I can move 6 inches. Gets me here. Sir Darst can move 6 inches, which gets him considerably closer. So with my second action, I am going to cast Armour on Sir Darst to make him even tougher. And Sir Darst's second action, he will, he'll wait where he is. So then it's going to be Boda's turn. Now Boda is going to group activate with her monkey, Shriek, rather, not Shrek. So she got a movement of 6, which gets her into contact with this first skeleton. So her monkey running along behind her can't get there for his first action. So for Boda's second action, she's going to attack the skeleton. So the skeleton's got a fight of 1, she's got a fight of 3. So I shook a 16 for Boda and a 3 for the enemy. So obviously Boda's 1. So that's 19, take away 10, that's 9 hits. They only have 1 hit each. So I've taken out yet another skeleton. So for the second action for Shriek, Shriek is going to move in line with Boda, so he doesn't get attacked by the skeleton on its own. So the skeleton, obviously, is going to be going for Shriek. So as it gets to it, Boda will snap in, so it can help protect her little monkey. So the skeleton has a fight of 1. The monkey has a fight of 0, so although I'm using like a baboon miniature, I'm thinking it's more like a little capuchin monkey, so it's not a particularly good fighter. So it gets +2 because of Boda's gang up bonus. So I should go 1 for the monkey and a 13 for the skeleton, which is rather unfortunate. So 13 plus 1, that's 14. Take away the monkey's armor of 8. So that's 6 damage. They only have 4 health. So yeah, that monkey is knocked out. Then we got the giant rat. Well, the giant rat is closest to Brother Tobias, so it's going to go for Brother Tobias. So the rat has got a fight of 0. Brother Tobias now has got a fight of 3. So I shook 17 for Brother Tobias and 14 for the rat. So that's 20 that Brother Tobias scores. 20 take away 6, that's 14 hits. They've only got hits of 1. So we managed to kill that rat rather effortlessly. This skeleton is going to go for Darst. So Sudast is going to have, now with his magical sword, he's got a +5. So +5 against a +1. So I shook a 20 for Sudast and I shook an 18 for them. But luckily Sudast manages to get it with a crit. So that's 25 plus 5, that's 30. Yeah, this skeleton just puffs into a pile of dust. And then this one comes running into him. Very brave skeleton. So yeah, same pluses. +1 to +5. I shook 5 for us and a 15 for the skeleton though. So the skeleton actually beats him. So that's 15. Take away Sudast's armor, which is now 13 because of the armor spell. So it gives him 2 damage. So he's down to 10 health. So that's the end of creature phase. We're over to companion phase. Okay, we're going to start with Ralph. Now, obviously, Ralph can't shoot at anyone because everybody's engaged. So he's going to just run his 9 inches just to try and get out of the way of this falling ground. Then we have Crix. Now, Crix is in the same boat. He can't shoot at anyone, so he's going to run to his mistress here. Doesn't quite get close enough to grab onto him. And then we've got Largo. So Largo is going to run to get closer to his mistress too. By there. End of turn 2. And we draw another card. Let's have a look. 4. Place 1 giant rat exactly in the center of the table. Okay, so going to land next to Ralph and remove 4 inches of table. Wow, okay. So I'll get back to you once I see what this actually looks like. So we're over to Ranger phase, and Brother Tobias is going to group activate with Sudast, and he is going to move into combat because you see how quickly this ground is going. He doesn't want to really be caught with Sudast fighting this guy. So Sudast's movement will be to burn it, just to stay in combat. So we'll start with Sudast because he is the better fighter here. So he has 4 plus 2 for a friend, and he's got a magical sword. So he's up to +7. So I shook 19 for Sudast, and I shook an 8 for the skeleton. So therefore Sudast easily beats him and also destroys that skeleton. So that was his second action. So actually, Brother Tobias has still got his second movement. So he is going to move this way. And yeah, make his way towards this way, but hopefully covering Ralph's exit as well. Boda. So Boda is going to... will she group activate? Can she group activate? She can group activate. Okay, she will group activate with Crix. Crix will move, so he's this side, and attack. So that's his movement. She's going to burn her movement. So then she is going to attack the skeleton. So the skeleton has a +1. Boda has a friend, so she is now +5. Okay, I shook 1 for Boda and 19 for the skeleton. So that does not look good. So 19, take away Boda's armor of 12. That's 7 damage. So she's down to 12 hits left for Boda. And then Crix will attack the skeleton because his lady has been attacked. So he has 10 and I shook a 6 for the skeleton, so obviously we've won that one. So I shook 10 plus 2, that's 12, plus 2 for having its skill. So that's 14 he actually got. So 14, take away 10, that is 4 left. That is enough to kill another skeleton. It's creature phase, so obviously we have 1 creature on here. So it's this giant rat is going to attack Ralph. Now Ralph has got his fight of 2 against the giant rat's 0. So I shook a 7, but the giant rat has just shook a 20. So that's 20 plus his skill of 0, that's 0, so 20. Take away armor of Ralph, which is 11, that's 9 hits. He's got 1 hit left. And he has to do a TN 8 or be diseased. So I'm going to shake TN 8, so I need to roll a 7 or more. I shook a 1, so I didn't, so he's diseased. So diseased means that he will start next game at -3 health and -1 to all of his stats because he is sweating and feeling awful. So then it's going to be companion phase. So actually, yeah, Ralph does get to activate. I put a marker on the wrong person there. Shouldn't have been on him, but that was on the rat. So yeah, Ralph will attack the evil creature that's just bit him. He is +2 still for this game. So I shook an 8 for us and a 14 for them. Okay, so the rat has beaten Ralph. That's 3 more hits. That's enough to knock Ralph out. Oh, wow. Okay, and then we have this dude here. So Largo is going to... He's going to move first because he doesn't want to get caught in this collapsing ground. So he's going to move up to 6 here. And then he's going to shoot back at the rat. So the rat gets +1 because Largo moved. So I shook 15 for us. Oh, wow. Now that I'm showing the dice, I'm getting awful for the rat. Gets 20. So the rat dives out of the way of the arrow as it flies towards him. So that is end of turn 3. So we're over to turn 4. And it's a jack. A large stone tumbles from the ceiling. Select a random hero and make a +3 shooting attack versus them. Okay, so a random hero. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us on the table. I'll shake a D8 and re-roll anything which is more than 5. Well, alright, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it hits Crix. Okay, so Crix is got an armor, a fight of 2 versus an attack of 5. Okay, attack of 3. Sorry. Okay, so I shook 1. It shook 15. So 15 plus 3, that's 18. Take away Crix's armor of 11. That's 7 damage it does to him as a big boulder hits him on the head. He's got 3 hits left. Now, also, the ground sinks 5 inches. So I'll get back to you once we see where that is. So over to Ranger phase, and as you can see, this place is falling apart very quickly. So we're going to have to get our move on. So, Brother Tobias cannot group activate with Sidast, so he's going to run and touch this clue marker, which will end his turn, and we can see what that clue marker is. So, shaking the dice. I shook a 9. You stumble across a badly wounded Laremphian soldier. The soldier counts as one of your companions for the rest of the mission. Use the stats for a guardsman companion, except that currently only has one hit. So I found this injured Laremphian soldier, which will now be one of our companions. So though he's pretty badly injured, so yeah, we're not going to count on him to do an awful lot. Then Boda. So Boda tucks up her monkey under her arm and starts running for the wall as well. So she's going to run for the clue marker. She is group activating, so she can move 7, which actually gets her to it with her first action. You find the body of another ranger who you vaguely recognise. You take the small silver star of Alador that is pinned to his tunic to return to his family. You gain 5 experience points. And then Crix's turn, so he is going to make his move. So he is running as well. So you can go 6 this way. And then he's going to shoot at that rat to try and draw it away from Sidast. So he has a +2. The rat has +1 now because he moved. So I shook a 15. I shook a 6. They shook a 15. So the rat dodges the shot. So then it's over to Rat's turn. Now the rat, unfortunately, is not smart enough to know that it's going to fall down this probably next turn. So it runs to Sir Darst. 6 inches, which makes it to him, and then attacks Sir Darst. So we're hoping Sir Darst manages to kill it with 1 strike, because otherwise he might fall down into the abyss. So the rat has a +0. Sir Darst, with his magical sword, has got a +5. So I shook a natural 20, they shook a 10. So yes, we definitely took that rat out. It's over to companion phase. Alright, we're going to get Sir Darst to sprint his little legs off. And with both of his actions, he can actually touch the clue marker in this corner. Find a treasure token. You may pick up this token as a free action. So we'll find out what the treasure is at the end of the turn. So Darst has grabbed his keg and he's running for the exit. Largo, who hasn't been yet either. So Largo, can he get to the wall? He can get to the ledge. So this is the ledge here. So he's going to try and climb up the ledge. TN 12 to try and climb the ledge. So shaking for him. He has no climb skill. I shook a 10, so he needed 12, so he fumbles around. He doesn't manage to climb up onto the ledge. So then we have the newly acquired man-at-arms, so he's going to move to this wall, and he's going to try and do it. So he needs a 12 as well. I shook a 2, so no, he scrambles away, but he can't get up onto the platform. So that is the end of turn 4, so we have to flip a card. A 5. Skeleton appear here. The floor disappears 5 inches. Oh, wow, okay. So I will do that and we'll see what's left of the floor once we come back. So we're on to turn 5, and as you can see, a lot of the board is sunken into the abyss. So yeah, not looking too good here. So we're going to start with hero phase. So I can group activate with the new recruit. So the new recruit is going to try and climb. He needs a 12 or more. And I shook a 17. So he actually manages to get up there. That was his first action. So for his second action, I think climb is considered a movement. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to consider it as a movement. So you get his second action, which he can move as a movement, and he's going to get in contact just by here next to the door. Brother Tobias is going to move, and he is going to spend his movement to get in contact with the wall, and he's going to try and climb it. Now, Brother Tobias, being a scholarly, preacherly man, has only got a +1 on his climb, so he needs 11 to climb this. I shook a 14, yep. The old monk can climb walls when he has to, so he jumps up the wall. So Boda is within 3 inches, so she will group activate. So her movement will be to get to the wall. Now, movement, I do class climbing as a movement, although I think it's considered an action. I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe it is an action, thinking about it. So he won't get to move, he just stays against the wall. And they're both going to try and climb this wall. So first of all, we're going to start with Largo. Now, Largo has no climb, so he needs a 12 to climb up the wall. 14, he does, so he gets to the top of that wall. And then Boda. Now, Boda does have climb of 3. She's a very good climber. So she needs a 9 or more. And I shook a 20. Oh, wow. She just leaps it in a single bound. Just jumps up onto the wall. Creature phase. So this last skeleton is going to try and go for crits because I would say it wouldn't climb the wall unless it had to. So that's 6. Alright, what are we doing? 6. And a further 3. Actually just falls short of Crix. So Crix will not snap to him. Crix is not going to attack it. He's still trying to get away from this collapsing wall. So he's going to run 6 inches to get him here. And then he's going to try and climb the wall. Now, does Crix have climb? No, Crix can track but not climb. So he needs a 12. And I shook a 3, so he failed to do it. So Sir Darst is going to move, and he moves to the wall. And then he's going to try and climb it. Now, Sir Darst, obviously, being a lord, is very accustomed to climbing, or not. So I need a 12 or more. 19, yep. He's got his treasure, and he wants to get out of here. So he's carrying his treasure. And that is Sir Darst's turn. An ace. 2 temple guards burst through the door. And now that we've got some people to block us, so the 2 inches of our flooring disappears into the abyss. And we're on to turn 6. Now, once we're up on the ledge, you cannot, the encroachment will not go beyond that ledge. However, the ground shakes still happen, so we might get sucked over the edge into it. So we still have to be rather careful about what's going to happen. So Brother Tobias will group activate with this new man-at-arms that he's stumbled, or guardsman that he stumbled across, and he will charge into combat with this guy. Now, unfortunately, that guy will snap to him before he gets there, so there is individual combats going on. So for an action, we're going to have the guardsman attacking the Temple Guardian. So a guardsman has a fight of 3. Temple Guardian has a fight of 2. So I shook a 9 for us and a 7 for them. So we beat them. So that's 12 we've managed to hit for. They got an armor of 11. So that's 1 hit. He's got 9 hits left. Brother Tobias versus his Temple Guardian. So Brother Tobias has a fight of 3 versus its fight of 2. So I shook a 3. It shook a 14. So it beats me. It's got a fight of 2. So that's 14 plus 2. That's 16. They're using 2-handed weapons. That's 18. Okay. 18 versus my armor of 12. That's 6 hits that I have taken. And I'm down to 12. Now, Boda can group activate. She can get there with her 7 inches. So, with her movement, she will move up there. With Largo's movement, he can move 6. So, he doesn't quite get there, but he gets to here. And with their second action, so Largo will move in to combat with his second action, but he doesn't actually get to attack, but Boda does. Now, Boda has her attack of 3, but she has a gang up bonus, so she's got an attack of 5. I shook a 2 for Boda and a 10 for the Guardian. So that's 12. Armor of Boda is 12, so she manages to block it. Okay, so that is Boda's turn. Then we got Creature Phase. So this skeleton is going to clickety-clack his way over to... He makes it to Crix, which is not great. And he attacks Crix. Alright, so Crix has got +2. The skeleton has got a +1. So I shook a 12 for Crix and a 14 for the skeleton. So 14, 15. Ours would add up to 14, so it beats us. 15, take away Crix's armor. 15, take away Crix's armor of 11. That's 4 hits. He only had 3 hits left. He falls to the ground. So then we have this dude. So this dude is going to attack the guardsman because he is the weaker of the two. Boda gets to give her bonuses to him though. So she's got a gang up bonus of +2. So we are +5 and it is +2. So I shook 17, they shook 11, so we won. So add 5, that is 22. +2 because he's using a two-handed weapon. That's 24. Take away 11. That's 13 damage. Obviously, that is more than enough to kill the Temple Guardian. And then we've got this Temple Guardian. Now it is going to be attacking Largo because Largo has less hits than Brother Tobias. So Largo gets the +2 because Brother Tobias is helping him. So that's 4 to 2. So ours is 16, theirs is a 14, so we beat them. So 4, that's 20. 20 take away 11, that's 9 hits. It's got 1 hit left on this Guardian here. So then it's over to Companion Phase. So the only companion we got is Sudast. So Sudast is going to... Yes, he can get there with his first action. That's his treasure that he's dragging along with him. So Sudast usually has a skill of 4, but he's got 2 gang up bonuses. So he's now up to 8. And he's got a sword, that's 9. I shook 19, they shook 3. So 19 plus 9, that's 28. 28, take away 11, that's 17 damage, which is 16 more than it needed to be. So he just, runs up behind him and skewers him in the back. So it's the end of turn 6, so we have to flip another card. And we get a 6. Place 1 skeleton on the floor in the corner on the right side of the wall between the ledge and the floor. Okay, so another skeleton appears in this corner down here. You can just about see him. And let's see how much floor gives way. Alright, 6 inches of floor give way. Okay, so we'll be back when I show you how much floor has actually gone. So we're over to turn 7, and the whole floor has just disappeared everywhere. There's only the ledge left. The skeletons clatter down and fall into this huge abyss down below. So the only thing left for us to do is try and pick this door. Now, if we don't pick it, there is a chance that we'll get shaken off this platform we're on, so we still have to be rather cautious about what we're doing. Okay, so we are going to group activate, and now the problem is I have to activate first, and my person has no skill for picking locks, so this should be quite a challenge for me. Okay, it's a pick lock of 14 or a strength of 18. Well, Brother Tobias has +2 on his strength. He has nothing on his pick lock, unfortunately. So, okay, Brother Tobias is probably thinking that he's not going to get in the way by trying to pick this lock. So he is going to burn his move, and he didn't group activate. Now Boda will activate. Now Boda doesn't have a pick lock, but Largo does. So she is going to group activate with Largo. She is not going to move, but Largo will. Largo will move up to the door, and for his action, he will try and pick this lock. Now, Largo has a pick lock of +3. Oh, okay. So I need to roll 11 to pick this lock. I rolled a 10, so he failed to pick the lock, and no one can get to that door now because he's in the way. So yeah, that's not great. It's going to be creature phase. There are obviously no creatures still on the board, so then it's over to companion phase. They're kind of all stuck there. They can't do a lot until we get the door open. So end of turn, so we have to pick a card. 9. Skeleton Ogre would appear on the floor here, but there is no floor remaining, so it says if no floor remains, it doesn't generate. I was worried it was going to be up on the ledge, but it specifically says on the floor in front of the ledge. So now, because 4 inches should disappear, but this is the ledge and it doesn't disappear, we have to do some acrobatic rolls to stay up here as the ground is shaking and our people are trying to stay up there. Okay, so every figure has to do an acrobatics TN 8 or a movement TN 12. Okay, so we're going to start this side. So Sir Darst, does Sir Darst have acrobatics? I think he does. I think that's his skill. Yes, he has +3 acrobatics. So he needs to get an 8. So he needs 5 to succeed this. He shook a 1. He failed. And that means he falls over the edge and into the abyss. That was rather anticlimactic as he drops over the edge. I'll say he left his treasure behind as he fell. So next, Brother Tobias. Okay, does he have acrobatics? He has acrobatics +1. But he has a movement of 6, so which one would he be better off doing? So actually I'll be better off doing the movement, because I need a 6 to pass as opposed to a 7. So I shook a 15. Luckily, Brother Tobias manages to hang on. Then we've got Largo there. So Largo is going to have his one. He has no acrobatics. So again, he's going to want to do the movement roll, so he needs a 6 or more. I shook a 12, so Largo is okay, which is great because he's the dude who can pick the locks. Then Boda. So Boda has an acrobatics of 3, so it works out the same, I think, as her thing. Hang on, 3. No, so she needs a 5 or more in order to pass this test. She shook a 1. So Boda is thrown off down into the abyss too. This is not going good. And then the guardsman, obviously the guardsman doesn't have acrobatics, so he is going to want to roll a 6 or more. I shook a 19, so the new guardsman is okay, but everybody else has been shaken off into the abyss, which doesn't bode well, does it? Okay, so Ranger phase. I can't really do anything because we have the Largo in the way, so he's going to just burn his turn, and then it'll be companion phase. So Largo is going to, for his first action, is going to try and open this bloody door. So he has got a +3, so he needs 11 to pick the lock. He shook at 9, so he failed. So with his second action, he's going to move to the side, like so. So with the new guardsman, he is going to move up to the door, and he's going to give it a mighty boot. So he needs an 18 or more to break it open. I shook at 8. He failed. Okay, so then it's going to be end of turn. And we get a queen. A terrifying boom echoes through the chamber. All evil creatures on the floor move 2 inches directly towards the ledge. There is no ledge. This includes creatures currently in combat. So that nothing really happens apart from, again, the ground shakes and we have to try and hang on to this ledge and not be shaken off. Okay, so Brother Tobias is going to do the movement route, so he needs a 6 to stay on. And I shook a 20, so Brother Tobias is fine. Largo is going to do the same, so he needs a 6 in order to stay on. He got 11, so he's alright. The poor little guardsman that we've just found, he also needs a 6, and he manages to get it too, so they managed to hang on there. So it is over to Ranger phase. Okay, I will group activate with the little dude, so movements first. No, hang on. No, I won't group activate. I'll just burn my turn, like so. And then we're over to companion phase. Okay, this guy's going to try and kick the door down again. He needs an 18. He took a 20. Our little wounded guardsman kicks the door open. And for his action, for his movement, he's going to walk through to freedom. Then Largo is going to do the same. He's going to follow him through the door. So that just leaves poor Brother Tobias left behind. So we get another tremor, which we draw a card for. And it's an 8. Place a giant fly in a random table corner. Okay, so that could be these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got D8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the fly comes on up here. You can't actually see it, but he's just in that corner there. And Brother Tobias has to survive this one last roll in order to not get shaken off the ledge. A 6 or more, and Brother Tobias survives. I took a 7. Oh, by the skin of his teeth, he manages to hang on, and then it would be the next turn, and Brother Tobias would run through the exit. Okay, so I think reading through the rules, we do shake for like injury tables to see whether these guys survive, but even if they do survive, they start the next mission with only 1 health because they fell down into the abyss. So they sort of clambered on and they were pulled up, but they were battered by the rocks, etc. I think that's how you're meant to read it. It says people who were reduced to 0 health but survived start the next scenario with 1 health. So I'm assuming that's what that means. I'm taking it as that's what that means, although it could mean that they're just dead and because they fell down the hole. But I'm thinking that it's probably going to be that, you know, it gives them the chance to survive. So let's have a look at what happens to our people. We'll start with Brother Tobias' companions first of all. So we're going to start with Sir Darst here. Probably best if I don't shake it on the book. I shook a 6. Badly wounded. The figure starts the next game with -5 health. Well, we just learned that he's going to actually start it with 1 health. So we're going to write that down. So he is going to start the next game with 1 health, which is not going to be great. Okay, Ralph, who is diseased. I shook a 15. He's full recovery. So but he's not, because he's going to be diseased next turn. So he's going to start with 1 health and -1 to his stats, because he's in a bad way. Right, Crixt. Hopefully, the new people are going to survive. Let's have a look. I shook a 3. Permanent injury. Okay, what permanent injury did Crixt get? 16. Psychological scarring. The figure's physical injuries heal, but the mental trauma does not. It suffers -1 to its will. The injury can happen multiple times to lower their will, etc. But apart from that, has no result. So that's not terrible, to be honest. His will now is down to 0. And next mission, his health is going to be 1, which is not great. All of my people are near enough are going to have a health of 1. So, Screech, the monkey, I shook 11. Full recovery. So, full recovery, apart from it'll only have 1 health, but still, it's alive. As they climb out of the rubble, just pulling themselves over the ledge and out into safety. So, Boda. Now, this would not be good if the character, the crafty mini, made me tight first mission. But I'm kind of hoping this isn't going to happen. 14, full recovery. Okay, that's good. Okay, so she will start the next mission with 1 hit point also. Now, we didn't get the treasure because it fell with Sir Darst, but it says, for next mission, a figure may use any unused heal spells or healing potions at this point. The figures do regain all their heroic abilities and spells for the next scenario. So, Brother Tobias does have his healing spells left. So he's going to cast Heal on Boda. So because he's got his holy symbol, that means he can heal 6 hits to her. So that knocks her back up to 7. And because he's got Eldritch Recall, he's going to recall his heal spell and cast... He's going to cast Heal on Sir Darst. So he's up to 7 as well. So those two at least are going to have some hits left, and they are our 2 best fighters on the game. So that is something. So after doing injuries, we're going to go over to working out how many experience we got. 58 experience at the end of that, because we managed to get 3 people off the board, so you get extra points for that. We get points for the skeletons, points for the guardian, and points for the rats. I'm not counting the pin that was found by Boda, because I think because she fell, she dropped the pin, and therefore we're not getting the experience for that. But I'm going to add the 58 to Brother Tobias. So he is now gone up another level. So he's up to 326 experience. So let's see what he gets at level 3. Gain recruitment points. Okay, so he gains 10 base recruitment points to his character. So he now has got 121 points. He might be using that next mission, although he can't use it actually the next mission because it carries on straight from this one and you have to carry the characters over. So Boda now has 58 experience. And also we got 1 recruitment point for Largo. 1 progression point for Largo because he managed to survive the mission. Now, I think maybe we do keep this guy for the next mission. I can't actually see where it actually says we don't. For the rest of the mission, yes, so we do keep him because it's not for the rest of the scenario, it's for the rest of the mission. So we get to keep him to come with us on our adventures, though of course he is also down to 1 hit as well. So yeah, we didn't lose anyone, which is good, but everybody's really battered for the next scenario, which will be Prison Break. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you tune in next time to see what happens, because I'm getting quite excited with this. Unfortunately, my wife won't be continuing our adventures. She's been quite unwell. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you would have heard her breathing wasn't great. So she's pulled out while she recovers from this flu that she's suffering from. So I hope you join me in hoping that she gets better soon. But until next time, it's going to be goodbye from me, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer.